Hey everybody, how's it going? It's been a while since I've done a video. Haven't had a lot of free time this summer. My daughter's out of school and I started a new job, so when I'm not busy with my job, I'm busy kind of taking my daughter around to her different activities and things like that. So haven't really had the time to make videos or actually even clean records much, but it's been a pretty good summer. So I just thought I'd make a video and kind of show, like, you know, what's been up the past couple months or so. And I'll start with the records. Been picking up a lot of classical music mostly, but picked up a few different odds and ends. Some jazz. Nice audio fidelity record here. See a lot of these old audio fidelity records, you know, they came out late 50s, 58, 59 when stereo records first came out, and they came out some of the very first. A lot of times it's like Hal Hurt, or I've got another one, it's like Johnny Puleo doing harmonica music, kind of weird stuff. I'm not sure I listen too much, but this one's pretty cool. Some Best of Louis Armstrong here. I don't know if I showed this before. I picked this up at Second and Charles. They had a sale, so I kind of eyed it and picked it up. It's Woody Herman. Woody Herman and the Las Vegas Herd Jackpot. So I figured I'd give that a try. I'd never listened to his music before, but I recognize some of the players. Let's see, Cy Toof on trumpet, Richie Kamuka tenor sax, Monty Budwig bass. Yeah, some interesting players. This one's really beat to hell, but it's kind of interesting. It's on Crown Records, kind of cheapy budget label out of Hollywood. But these are members of the Stan Kenton Orchestra, and they're doing kind of a tribute to him. And it's got some of the big players on the West Coast: Bud Shank on sax, on alto, Bob Cooper on tenor sax, Conte Candoli and Pete Candoli on trumpet, Frank Rossellino on trombone. It's pretty cool stuff. I think Mel Lewis on drums. Yeah. It's actually a pretty decent pressing for Crown Records. Some of their later pressings were all, I have a few, and there's just all kinds of pressing defects in the vinyl, but this one's in pretty good shape. So that's kind of cool. Good listen. Actually cleaned it up and it plays really well. It's kind of surprising. Most of the Crown records are usually beat to hell by the time I find them. And some stereo fun. You always see these guys in thrift shops, and I always just kind of figured they were just easy listening crap, but having read up on them a little bit, it appears some of their early stuff was kind of experimental. So I figured I'd give it a try. This is Ferrante and Teicher. This is on ABC Paramount. I guess this is the stuff you want to buy, the stuff on ABC Paramount. And their later stuff is kind of not, it's a little more, I guess not a little more, a lot more mainstream, kind of schmaltzy. But there's some interesting stuff. I mean, it's kind of, it does have a little bit of that schmaltzy sound to it, but there's some interesting things they do with, you know, they call that like prepared piano, where they put like wood blocks between the strings, or they dampen the strings somehow, or put things inside the piano. They just play a couple of just standard pianos, but they prepare them and, I don't know, manipulate them to make some weird sounds. And there's some times on here, just some little brief passages where you listen and you're like, God damn, what is that? It sounds almost like a, like if you listen to some of the early Brian Eno electronic stuff, where he'll have kind of like an early rhythm box, kind of before they had like drum machines, kind of that tuk 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 tuk, kind of, I don't know, early krautrock sound to it. Almost sounds like that. Kind of weird. So interesting lesson, not something I'm going to listen to all the time. And this is kind of cool. It's an early Warner Brothers stereo fun record here. This is Stereo Goes Latin. The Bobby Havana Boys. I tried to look online to see who the Bobby Havana Boys are, but there's not a whole lot of info. It says something like conducted and led by Ray Sherman. I think he was a pianist. So not a lot of info, but it's just kind of cool. I like the love the labels on these Warner Brothers stereo labels, early ones. That gold label with the black and red print on it. So it's kind of Latin cha-cha-cha kind of music, but it's interesting. It's got the early stereo experimental sound to it. And then from one of the thrift shops in town, I think it was Goodwill. Couldn't pass this up. Some Run DMC, Run's House, and Beats to the Rhyme. Nice 12-inch here. In really good shape. I couldn't pass that one up. Alright, and so like I said, classical. It's kind of been the summer of classical for me. Haven't seen a whole lot of like rock or things like that in thrift stores. It's been exciting me lately, so I've kind of decided to get into classical several months ago, and just kind of been finding some neat stuff in the store. So that's kind of been a lot of my focus recently, just picking up nice classical pressings. So I pick up stuff like you know, some RCA Living Stereo Red Seal pressings. If I find those and they're in pretty good shape, I'll pick them up. This one's like, they call it the Shaded Dog. Some of these I've probably shown before, or I've had them up on the Facebook, YouTube, Vinyl Community Facebook page. I'm not really sure what I've shown before, what I haven't. It's been a while since I made a video. And of course, Columbia Records. I had the Masterworks label. I've been picking up a lot of kind of Columbia Masterworks stuff. These are Stravinsky, Conduct Stravinsky for his 80th anniversary, Firebird, and Petrushka. A couple of ballets here. I like the cover on that. These little screaming demons or whatever they are. Pretty cool. These are just a few of the ones I picked up. I don't want to try to show everything. It'd be boring as hell, I think. But some old Columbia. This is early Masterworks pre-stereo pressing here. This is Weingarten conducting the London Symphony Orchestra. This might have been imported recording that Columbia put out. Might not be one that they actually did. Kind of cool. I think they had some kind of deal with Decca Records where they put out Decca's recordings here in the US before the London Records thing came along, I guess. And let's see, another Columbia, this one kind of later. Leonard Bernstein conducting Music of Our Times. You have some Ligeti, Morton Feldman, Larry Austin, improvisations for orchestra and jazz soloists. With Don Ellis trumpet, Barre Phillips bass, Joe Cucuzzo drums. This one's kind of interesting stuff. It was a library copy. It actually had like the card on here. I managed to peel that off without too much damage, but I decided to leave the little sticker there, you know. Do not return to book drop. So, nice library copy. I know I've shown this on the Facebook page, but it's just kind of cool. Mercury Living Presence pressing. They're supposed to be really good pressings. Let's see, this is Gunther Schuller, 7 studies on themes of Paul Klee, and Paul Feller, Contrast for Orchestra. Yeah, I like the cover. I mean, Paul Klee, cool artist. And Gunther Schuller, I did a little reading on him. He was, along with John Lewis of the Modern Jazz Quartet, kind of came up with the concept of third stream music, which I guess is just kind of like a mixture of jazz and classical, kind of like chamber jazz. It's a nice label. So that's kind of cool. I think he actually played French horn maybe on some of Miles Davis's early recordings, Gunther Schuller. Can't remember exactly what I read there. And then the Everest label, I've been picking up a few things on Everest. It started out as a high quality label. I think a guy from Columbia Records had left and teamed up with a guy from a, I can't remember what it was, some kind of electronic company or something like that, and they started this label Then after a few years, the guy from the record company left, and it changed hands. It kind of went downhill, but these early pressings here are pretty good. Got some Villa Lobos, The Little Train of Caipira, some Genistera on there, some Brahms, conducted by Leopold Stokowski. I think that's the same. Okay, it's a little different. It's a little different label here. Purple and gold. That'd be an early pressing. That. And kind of a later pressing. Homage to Stravinsky, Pierre Boulez. And let's see. I guess the same kind of label, the blue and red label. But yeah, these are all really nice pressings. And let's see, another label that's kind of interesting, Urania. They were another label that was put out. I have a book where it talked about like the very first stereo releases, and Urania put out one of the very first. So I figured I'd pick up. I saw the Urania label and figured I'd pick it up and give it a shot. This one, it looks like a promo label, but I don't think it is. I think maybe that's just how they look. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. And then this one I picked up just because it's kind of a cool label I hadn't seen before. This is Vanguard. It's kind of like a folk label, but this is their Cardinal series. Stereo pressing. Guimar Novaes playing Beethoven. I guess a piano player, but it's a nice little custom label there. I shouldn't say custom label, nice little label for Cardinal. Not your typical Vanguard label. I'm having a hard time getting things back in the sleeves here. Alright, and then the Second and Charles, the big bookstore, movie store, record store, whatever. They had a sale recently that was like buy 3, get 2 records free. And they had a whole bunch of Deutsche gramophones, so I grabbed a bunch of those. They came out to like $1.20 a piece. So. A lot of them still in the original shrink. And it's starting to come off. I'll peel that in a little bit and save the imported sticker there. I guess these are imported West German pressings here. I don't know, something about the Berlin Philharmonic there. I don't speak German, but I think it's just saying something about recording of the Berlin Philharmonic. At one point this is $12, and then it looks like $7.50 from a used record store, but just a familiar. A lot of you guys, or most of you guys, are probably seen these before. Deutsche gramophone label. Another one. Grabbed a bunch of these. I'm just going to show a couple of them. Yeah, kind of got that still in the shrink. Direct import, factory sealed. These are in really nice shape, so I was happy to pick those up. And then one of the Goodwill record stores here in town, I stopped in one day and they had a whole bunch of classical records that had obviously come from the same collection because they all were kind of cat-clawed on the top on one side or the other. But the records themselves, and actually the sleeves, were in really good shape except for the top there, so I pretty much bought them all. And they were, I think, what, 10 for $2, so 20 cents a piece. So you can't pass that up. So we got some British EMI Angel records here. Label that real quick. What's kind of interesting is it's got an EMI label, And then the angel thing is like an actual sticker that's just kind of stuck on top of that. So I guess maybe they had to do that when they sent it overseas for sale, I'm not sure. Another EMI, but this one is EMI Odeon. And same thing, that's just a label or a sticker that's stuck on top there. And then the back, down here in the corner, another little sticker just kind of stuck on. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Same thing you kind of see there. It's the regular EMI label. It's EMI Classical, and then they've got the sticker stuck on there. So that seemed kind of weird, like it's a lot of effort. There must be some legal reason for that. And then this is an EMI His Master's Voice record. It's actually they had a whole bunch of Vaughan Williams in this collection I picked up at Goodwill. This one I found at a different store actually, but I figured I'd pick it up to fill in my Vaughan Williams collection, which I now have. But got that kind of, looks like a 1980s sort of British record sleeve there, the corners cut off and stuff. Plastic lined, really nice, but nice, cool label there, you know, with the little doggy listening to his master's voice. I would have bought just for that alone, even if it was Mitch Mitchell. It's just a cool little label. And for that same Goodwill collection, these are some Dutch Phillips records here. Toshiro Miyazumi. It's kind of a cool cover, and I guess does it say imported from Europe? It's a little sticker, so some nice imported pressings. And cool labels on these. Whoops. Looks like I already cleaned this one up. I like these European labels. And another Phillips, some Tippett, Michael Tippett. And again, the imported from Europe sticker. And same collection. This is kind of cool. It's Angel, the Angel label, which I guess is the EMI sub label. But these are from the 45 Angel Sonic series, so it plays at 45 RPM. So not quite as much music, but probably a little higher fidelity since it's playing at 45 RPM. Kind of standard later Angel label in here. Nothing special in the label. I figured that was kind of cool. I've never seen classical at 45 RPM. I know make lots of jazz pressings now at 45 RPM. Lots of high quality like Music Matters and stuff. And there's some more Angel, the Vaughan Williams I was talking about in that collection. I think these are all, yeah, it's all that same kind of Angel label, another Vaughan Williams. That's kind of cool. And then at the Salvation Army, I've seen these records for a while and kind of curious about them, but I figured I'd pick them up. Since I got some of the nice later Angel pressings. These are actually, the records are in really nice shape. And actually, the sleeves are in pretty good shape. There's some seam splits, but they're interesting because they're early pre-stereo records. But they've got this little wooden dowel at the end. So you kind of grab a hold of that and you pull the sleeve out. You see, like that's an earlier Angel label there. They're all in really good shape, so I figured I'd give them a shot, rescue them from thrift store obscurity. But you know, some cool artwork. And you got some gold ink with the different colors there. Some nice artwork on these. The violinist David Oistrakh. Don't know a whole lot about him. I think there's like a father and son. Oistrakh, Russian violinists. This is the London Symphony Orchestra playing Prokofiev and Max Bruch. But again, that cool kind of package here. You got the wood dowel here. So you can slide out the inner sleeve easily without having to stick your fingers all in there, I guess. And then some Beethoven, again David Oistrakh on violin. And this is the Stockholm Festival Orchestra. And what else? This is kind of cool, a label, Supraphon, some Dvorak Piano Works, Czechoslovakian label. Kind of interesting, just for sometimes you see like a different kind of label. Beautiful, clean record here. Interesting label there. Actually, a really beautiful recording. I really like this one. And then can't remember where I got these. I think these were at Goodwill, the other Goodwill. But the London FFRR full frequency range recording pressings. I guess these came out in the US. These would have been the same as the Decca. I think they have identical matrix numbers. Same as the Deccas that came out in the UK. These are London, which is how they came out in the US. But really nice pressings on these. You can see made in Great Britain. I don't know if that's probably referring to just the sleeve, but I think the pressings were done in Great Britain as well. It's really nice, clean, beautiful pressings. So I picked up about 4 or 5 of these London pressings. So you got some Mozart, Haitink conducts Shostakovich. So yeah, pretty cool. So that's kind of my, not really obsession, but what I've been up to this summer as far as collecting vinyl. Just a lot of classical, checking out different labels I've read up on, you know, what's a good label, what are the good years to the pressings, and then picked up a few CDs at the different thrift stores. One of the Goodwill in town, they had some cool jazz CDs, and I wish I bought them all that I'd seen, but I picked up these 2 when I saw them, just because I like the musicians. Clark Terry on trumpet and flugelhorn, Red Mitchell on bass. Kind of a tribute to Duke Ellington and Count Basie. This is on the, I don't have the CD in there, but it's on the Enya label. Yeah. Gene Ammons, this is on the Chess Original Jazz series. But it's a collection of Gene Ammons' early recordings on, I guess, Chess. I think a few other record labels all compiled on here. It says Chess recordings originally recorded by Leonard Chess, reissue produced by Orrin Keep News, and it's also, I guess it's put out in the GRP label. You know, Grusin and Rosen, which kind of put out a lot of Impulse stuff at one point. But it's got a really nice, lot of notes on the inside here about the different recordings. Got some stuff off of Decca, Aristocrat, Chess, different labels. Probably a lot of old shellac records, things like that. A lot of old 78s. And then from the Humane Society thrift store, I figured I bought a bunch of Vaughan Williams on vinyl. I saw this on CD. I figured I'd give it a shot. Listen to this in the car on the Naxos label. Symphony No. 4. Kind of dissonant. I said it's one of his more dissonant works. Most of his stuff's very kind of pastoral, based on folk music, but I like it. And then what else? From the Humane Society store, I saw this one day, and it was just cute as hell, and I couldn't pass it up. I think it was $5. This is a realistic. They had these little mini components, like, I don't know, back in the early 80s, I think, maybe late 70s. Got the fake wood grain with the vinyl, you know, wood grain sticker veneer on it. But they had like a, let's see, they had the tuner, they had the receiver. I don't know if they had a cassette deck. it's pretty cool. I mean, let's see, it's got the selector for tuner, tape, phono. Unfortunately, the phono, it doesn't have a real RIAA curve, you know, to adjust your phono. That's one of the complaints I've seen online, so it's kind of fake. But it works. Kind of low powered, but you know, just something kind of fun. I think I might stick this out in my garage. And I bought some KL8 speakers that turned out to just be kind of crappy. I didn't realize KL8 was just kind of a big box store brand at this point. I think Best Buy or one of those stores puts out sells KL8 speakers. But they're $5 a piece. I might connect them up to this if this will actually power them. Just stick a CD deck out there or something. Listen to stuff out in the garage when I'm out there. And then I went to South Carolina, a little vacation with my family. And when I'm on vacation, I always try to hit one record store. So we hit one. We were in heading into Charleston. Figured we'd do kind of the touristy thing that day. And I noticed in North Charleston, just a little bit, we took my daughter to a trampoline, I don't know what you call it, trampoline park, indoor trampoline park. They have all kinds of trampolines you can bounce on and jump into foam pits and stuff like that. But just about 10 minutes away, there was a book and record store. So we went there. It was called Mr. K's. And I got to give a shout out to this place. I didn't even look at the books. I just figured my wife and daughter can look at the books, and I'll check out the records. They had a couple rows of bins of records, or more than a couple, probably four or so. But I went right to the jazz, and they had some really nice stuff. I noticed a lot of Shirley Scott, especially, but just jazz from the 60s to whenever. Wasn't priced really cheap, but I mean, they were all fair prices. But the problem was, my wife, she immediately ran off and started looking at books. My daughter was with me, and luckily it had a bench there, so she sat down on the bench and started going through her phone, looking at her Instagram and all that stuff. But then after about 5 minutes, I hear, "Oh, I'm bored. You know, why do you always bring me to record stores?" You know, and if you have kids and you collect records, you've probably heard that before. It's just, but I figured, you know, when I was a kid, I used to love going to bookstores and looking through books, but she didn't want to. And then it was kind of like eating at me, like that tension, like I gotta hurry and find some records because time's ticking away. And then my wife comes up with a stack of books and kind of asked me how much longer I'm gonna be, and I said, you know, I'd like to look around. And they're both kind of like, you know, they're just kind of waiting, and I could feel the tension. And finally she says, I'm gonna take our daughter to get something to eat. And I'm like, okay. But she drops a stack of books, you know, in the record bins as I'm looking through, and she says, "Do you mind paying for these?" And then kind of takes off, and I'm like, oh god. So now I gotta haul this stack of books as I look through the records, and they're all priced kind of not high but not cheap. So I'm trying to prioritize in my mind, like, what do I really want to get? How much do I really want to spend? And finally, it just kind of hit me like, this is just too stressful. Like, I like to go to record stores and thrift stores and look through records kind of to relax, and this is the opposite. It was just getting me stressed out, and I just said, forget it. I just hit the abort button and left and joined them at the restaurant. And of course later I kind of regretted it because, you know, there was some cool stuff. There's like a Bill Doggett record. He was kind of like an R&B organ guy, kind of jazzy. I would have liked to have had that in some of these Shirley Scott records. There was Jimmy Geoffrey, some Jerry Mulligan, things like that. But like I said, nothing was really priced cheap, so they wouldn't have been like a big bargain. And then the other thing was, we were heading into Charleston, thinking we'd go there and kind of poke around, do the touristy thing, and the forecast this day was like 99 degrees. So I'm also picturing in my mind, like, you know, what if I buy like $50, $60 worth of records, put them in the car, and we're there for 2 hours, and I come back and we're all just warped to hell from the heat. So that was another reason I just hit the abort button and just said, forget it. I'm getting too stressed out thinking about all this stuff. So, good store. I would love to have been there by myself for a few hours just to kind of dig through, but it just didn't work out. And I figured there's no point getting all stressed out, and forget it. So that was pretty much it, except for let's see, a couple days ago I went into, there's a Goodwill about 3 minutes from where I'm working now. One I don't usually go to because it's kind of on the southwest side of town. I live way up past the northeast side of town where we live here, so I'd normally never have gone to this place, but it's just a little ways down from where I work. And I've been going there after work like a couple times a week at least, just checking out what's in there. That's where I found like a lot of those classical records, all the Vaughan Williams records. So I went in a couple days ago, kind of went to the records and looked, and nothing new, absolutely nothing new. The CDs, someone had wiped out all the CDs. I don't know if someone came and just bought them all, or if they decided to quit putting CDs out. I don't know. So I'm like, alright, well, I'll go over and check out the electronics. I always like to look and see if there's some decent CD players or cassette decks, things like that. And as I get over there, they've got kind of a shelf where they have speakers, and it's usually just crap like you know, the Sharp or Sony, or just, you know, the little mini system speakers, little plastic bodied speakers that, you know, someone got rid of their mini system and they put the speakers out. But I saw these big ones, these big black ones, which is kind of what you see, this behemoth here. Not behemoth, but bigger than what I've got in my little bookshelf speakers. And I just kind of took a quick glance, and I saw a little thing at the top that said B&W on the grill, and I'm like, B&W? And then kind of thought, like, you know, could that be Bowers and Wilkins, the British company? And just kind of looked at the price real quick, $4.99. They were marked each. And then flipped them around to the back side, and I saw they had like 4 posts on the back of each. I'm like, well, that's kind of special. And then I saw it, you know, made in England. And I'm like, okay, that's the real deal. So I'm like, damn, what the hell are these doing here for $5? And I started to get kind of nervous, so I'm like, I need to get these and get them the hell out of here. I know these are worth something. So I'm kind of thinking, like, can I carry both of these to the counter? No, I can't. Should I carry one? That way no one wants to buy one speaker. So I carry one to the counter and go back and get the other. So finally end up, I just take a chance, go grab the cart, bring a cart back, real nervous. Load them up in the cart and run them right to the register. Pay for them, sure enough, $5. Yeah, these are B&W. Let's see, the DMSO2, I think. Yeah, DMSO2. They've got kind of like a Kevlar. That's Kevlar there. Nice little tweeter. I guess looking them up, they originally, like, I think they came out like 99, went for like 600 a pair, and just kind of did a quick search on eBay. There's some that had like the tweeters weren't functioning, but they still were asking like 150 plus 50 shipping. And I saw some other pairs going for like the $200 to $400 range, $450 range. I'm like, damn. That's a pretty good deal. Hopefully they work. I'm thinking there's got to be something wrong with them. Who the hell would donate, you know, really nice speakers like this unless there was something wrong? The tweeters were blown or disconnected, or something electronically was screwed up in these things. So I get them home, and it takes me a while, but I get them, you know, wired up to the system, and they sound great. I can't really see anything that's wrong with them. So I think I just got really lucky. The price stickers, actually when I got home, I took a picture. I put them up on the Facebook page, the YouTube vinyl community thing, just you know, just to be a dick and kind of brag, but not really bragging, but just kind of like, you know, I see all these people that get these great finds online at thrift stores and equipment. I never find anything all that nice equipment wise in stores, but I figured I'd put these up, you know. Finally I got lucky. But the little price sticker has the date on it, and the date was June 29th on the price sticker. I guess that's the date they priced it and put it out. That's the day I bought it. They had just put these out. And so, you know, I just happened to get really lucky and be there that day when they put them out. So, so that's it for the summer. Yeah, it's been an interesting summer. Just busy with my daughter's different activities and the new job. Haven't had a whole lot of free time. Hoping once school starts up, it'll kind of get back to normal, and I'll have some free time to clean records and just chill out listening to records and making videos. So hope everybody's doing well. Nice talking to you, and I'll be watching your videos, and I'll talking to you soon. Bye.